What an incredible collection of videos and what an amazing career she has had. Olivia Newton-John, and for more of Olivia, please join us tomorrow morning on the Today Show for our exclusive interview and some exciting tour news. I'll catch you in the morning.
Exotic locations, erotic situations. But one of these girls isn't for real. Oldie bachelor.
Time tomorrow, yeah, great interview with Robbie. He's on fire. He spoke for about 40 minutes. We're going to have to edit that today. God knows how we're going to. But
how do you cut 40 minutes of Robbie down?
Well, we're going to do a two-parter, but Robbie's just in sparkling form. He's just hilarious. So we have that this time tomorrow. But today, Olivia Newton-John, of course, the world of Olivia was turned upside down earlier this year following the disappearance of boyfriend Patrick McDermott. In recent months, she's been getting back to work. She played a series of shows in the States and will be performing in Australia and New Zealand next year. She's also released a CD of her greatest hits and a double DVD that documents her extraordinary career, appropriately titled Olivia Gold. I recorded this interview at Olivia's beautiful new house in Malibu. Olivia, lovely to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you for having us at this splendid spot.
Yeah, I love this little area because it's, especially in a warm night, to sit in here. It's beautiful.
I think if I could have imagined what your house would be like, it'll be white, it'll be peaceful, it'll be serene, it'll have beautiful light, very natural, and here you are.
Thank you, yeah. I love this. I love this house. I was so lucky to find it. It's just dreamy. I love it.
And you've got Jack ready to bite my ankle.
Yeah, he's watching you. And he's just become really protective of me lately. I took him on the road for the first time. On the bus, on the plane. It was incredible. And he'd even come on stage for an encore.
Really?
And go down and greet the people at the front like it was...
Like it was his show?
Been trained, yeah, here I am. He was so lovely, I love him. There's a handsome boy. You say hi. Hi. Oh, thank you.
Look, there's so much to talk about. You've got a new album, a new best-of album.
Yeah.
And the collection of your videos, that some of which on DVD, some of which I had never seen before. I'm sure it took you back too.
I hadn't seen them in so long that it was unbelievable to me how long ago I did them and what I did and what I wore and what my hair was like and everything. It's quite amazing.
The earliest ones, you look so sweet and innocent, and then you can see various directors going, okay, we're going to give her a little bit of edge here, and your hair's all kind of up, but it really is like a strolling through memory lane, isn't it?
Time, yeah, the 60s, the 70s, the 60s wasn't quite the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, hair and the clothes and the fashion and everything. It's fun for me to see it too.
There's nothing left to talk about, let's horizontally, let's get physical.
When I look back, Physical was banned in the 80s when it first came out, and now when I listen to all the songs that are on the radio, I think, my God, this is like a lullaby in comparison to all the music that's out now. But I was so kind of stressed about the fact that it was a little raunchy in its time, and I was really concerned, you know. So I said to my manager, we've got to do something to counteract the implications of this song, so we need to make it funny. So that's how we came up with the exercise thing.
How hard has it been for you to get back to work, having been to hell and back in the last few months?
It was a very difficult decision because I didn't feel like singing, and I didn't think that I would ever sing again. I thought the thought of it was terrifying to me, and I thought I'd never do it again. But singing is part of me, and it's my soul. It's how I can express myself and move through feelings, because you express so much when you sing, that I was able to use that in my music, and music is a very healing and powerful thing.
Are you any closer to knowing what happened?
You know, this whole process, people might wonder why I haven't said more than I've said, but the truth is that it's an incredibly private thing and an incredibly devastating thing. And if there was something to say, we would say it, but there isn't. And Patrick's son and his ex-wife and I are all in close contact, and we, you know, we're good friends, and it's just a really, really difficult thing. And there seems to be a thing in the world now where everyone feels, they think they're entitled to know everybody's business, and they think they're entitled to know what is going on. But I think there are certain things that are so painful that I don't choose to discuss them, just that I miss him terribly, I love him terribly, and it's a devastating experience.
What a lot of people couldn't understand was why there was such a long gap between when he went missing and when the public could have helped look for him. Can you explain why there was that month there when obviously you were going to hell and back, and as were people who knew him, but there wasn't, like, the word was not out there that could have, I don't know, potentially helped?
That was really a decision of the police. So we had to go with their decision. So it was really not ours to do. And yeah, that was a decision. There was an ongoing investigation, and they didn't feel there was any reason to do that at the time. And to make a spectacle out of it, which it would have become, and it still became, but it would have been, you know, you can never escape it if there's a celebrity involved in this kind of situation. But it was a decision made by the police,
which you obviously had to go along with. Are you getting through it?
Yes, of course. I'm moving. I'm living, and I'm moving forward. But you know, things like this come up. They come in waves, and anyone that's ever gone through any loss or painful experience knows that. You think you're coping, and then you hit a wall or you hit a wave, and you go down and you come up again, and it's a process. It's like, you know, pain is there, and you just have to feel it and go through it, and there's no escape. I
don't know if it got through to you, but it must have comforted you in some way, knowing that, you know, I mean, that there has always been, but especially in these exceptional circumstances, so much love and support out there for you. Everyone was going, oh no, Olivia, after everything she's been through and the sweetheart that she is, having to face another crisis in her life. Were you aware of the public sentiment out there for you?
I felt it when I went out on the road, that people have been very discreet, and I just feel it in there from their heart, and I feel it when they shake my hand or whatever, but people have been really discreet and loving, and yeah, I feel it, definitely.
Get a knowing smile or a look in the eye.
See, you're my friend, so you get this out of me. I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, how do you spend the rest of this year? What are your plans for Christmas? I'm sure part of you doesn't feel like celebrating, and other parts of you are moving on with life.
Christmas is difficult. Okay. Tissue.
Sorry, darling.
Let me get a tissue.
Hey, Olivia clearly distressed there, as indeed we all were, but she did return to her beautiful sitting room to continue the conversation, and that is coming up right after this break.
Welcome back, and if you are just joining us, we've been hearing from a very emotional Olivia Newton-John in an extraordinary interview with Richard.
Yeah, thanks, Trace. Everyone's heart certainly went out to Olivia when we learnt of her tragedy earlier this year. I've said many times before, she's probably the most loved Australian on the planet, I reckon. Right now, let's go back to her new house in Malibu for more of our exclusive interview.
So you think you're okay and you're coasting along, and then you hit a wave. So that was my wave, and I'm okay now. I'm up on the crest again.
And there's not one person in the world who wouldn't understand exactly what you're saying.
You know, there are so many people in the world who've gone through such, I mean, you can't compare, you know, my pain's worse than your pain. It's all related to that person. But there's so many people suffering in the world right now, and I also feel tuned into them. There are so many people in America who lost their homes and their families and everything. You know, I know how fortunate I am, and I count my blessings every day. But there are so many people going through a rough time this Christmas, and I never really understood it before, but I really do now.
I mean, you've always had such an empathy with the public, I think, and they with you. I think that's part of the magic of Olivia Newton-John, that you are so in touch with the public's feeling, and they with you. You must know that.
Well, I'm just a person like everybody else. I'm just a person that's been fortunate enough to have, you know, a lot of success and fame and things, but I'm really still, you know, at the bottom of it. I'm a girl from Melbourne who has lived a very interesting life, but I'm still a human being, and I've never lost touch with the fact that we're all that, and we're all the same, and we're all connected, and we all feel and cry, and, you know, it's okay.
I think the feeling is that you embody so much of what what's good about Australia.
Oh, thank you, Richie. Well, I think Australia was a wonderful, has been a wonderful country for me. It was a great place to grow up because it's very grounding. So I always feel I carry it with me, and I'm always proud to be an ambassador for it.
You've been doing shows over here, which have gone phenomenally well.
Yeah, I toured. I just finished just before Thanksgiving, which is, what, a week ago, and went around America to promote an album that I did for Hallmark for Breast Cancer Month.
Now let's cover off a couple of other things quickly. The hospital, the Austin...
The Olivia Newton-John Cancer Centre, I'm proud to say, will be part of the Austin, and we're fundraising on an ongoing basis, and I think we're going to do it. I think within a couple of years we will have the money to build an incredible centre, facility that will have all kinds of, not only heal the body but the mind and spirit too, which was my dream.
Congratulations with that. Our phones rang off the hook the morning that you were up at Gaia, your health retreat, when you were wandering around in your bare feet showing us this beautiful, beautiful resort. That's going well?
Our phones rang off the hook too, and it's going fantastically, and it's such a beautiful spot. I want you to come up and visit.
I want to come up.
Spend a few days.
The Today Show live from Gaia. What do you think? It's got a ring to it, hasn't it?
Let's do it.
And you're coming to Australia and New Zealand in March next year for a limited number of shows. It started out as one show, I think, but then...
Yeah, exactly. It started out as, would you like to do a winery in New Zealand? I said, oh God, I'd love to. I've always wanted to go to the wineries and have a time to look around New Zealand because it's such a beautiful country and I haven't spent enough time there. And then it was like, well, you're so close to Australia, maybe we could just, you know, slot a couple of shows into Australia. So that's what's happened. So I'm going to do a few shows at the Opera House.
Chloe's good?
Chloe's great, yeah. She's
saw her
good.
before. She's working on the record deal. She's her mother's daughter.
Yeah, she's so good. Wait till you hear it. It's so great, the music, and she just cut some new tracks, and she's very excited about them, and we're just waiting to announce what's happening, and it's good. She loves to write, and she's a really sensitive songwriter. She writes the most amazing things. In fact, on my new album that we're not talking about today, but I recorded one of her songs. I wrote the melody to one of her lyrics, and
fantastic.
Yeah, she's great.
On that piano, probably.
On that piano, exactly, I did.
That doesn't get much better, does it, writing a song with your daughter and recording it?
That was a classic. I asked her, did she want to write something with me for the album? And she didn't say very much, and I thought, well, you know, I am Mum after all. But on Christmas Day, she handed me a folded up piece of paper in a CD box, and it was this lyric, and it was like, oh, blew me away. So I sat right down and wrote the melody, just happened. So we want to do some more together now.
Olivia, good luck with all the things that don't really need any luck, and on behalf of all your friends and fans and admirers and supporters from our part of the world, all our love.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed, I'm sure you join me in wishing Olivia all the strength and courage in the world. She is an amazing woman, isn't she?
Yeah, incredibly candid.
She's a
really,
sweetheart.
Yeah, she is.
She really is. I think she's sweet right to the core.
That's indeed absolutely right. Listen, we've got to mention the new CD and DVD. They're both out now. I can tell you that also that they're entitled Olivia Gold, and all those great old clips there. You were commenting on the hairstyles.
Oh, I was saying she was my hair role model. I think I had every single one of her hairdos. Every time she did something, I better do it.
That's it.
I think I've seen a few of those photos.
Yeah, I think you probably have.
We could probably have archives of your hairdos sometime.
A few of them are on the walls at Channel 9 in Melbourne, still in the newsroom.
Well, they were until I went down.
Oh, really? Did you draw moustaches on me?
No, that was somebody else. Hey, I'm delighted to tell you also that Olivia will be in New Zealand and Australia for those shows next year, including the Sydney Opera House with the Sydney Symphony Orchestra. They're still fine-tuning some of the dates, but I should have those for you tomorrow or the next day. So stay tuned for that, and also don't forget U2 tickets go on sale at 9 o'clock. I'm sure there are people in queues around the blocks around Sydney and Auckland and all the other cities around Australia where they're playing as we speak. And don't forget Robbie Williams this time tomorrow on the show.